Achieve and thrive, St. Louis. This is the opensource.club. I'm your host, Dick Ulett. In 2018, only 1.5% of the electricity used in the United States came from solar. By 2050, that number is expected to increase to 40%. St. Louis is quickly becoming a solar leader. Using Busch Stadium as an example, the Cardinal organization installed 106 solar panels a decade ago. Solar energy powers the retail shops as well as the food and beverage centers at the old ballpark. Solar energy is the future. It's clean, renewable, and cheap. I'm your host, Dick Ulett. In this Sustainable Life episode by The Open Source, Sun Solar CEO Caleb Arthur will tell us how to get an affordable solar system. We'll be back in a minute.
You are listening to The Open Source. Become a subscriber. Go to www.theopensource.club. Add your email to the podcast subscription window. Get new shows in your inbox.
Caleb Arthur founded Missouri Sun Solar in 2012, and it took off. Inc. magazine ranked it as the 9th fastest growing energy company in the nation. The state of Missouri ranks it number 1 for service. Arthur is a native Missourian. He grew up in the Ozarks and graduated from Houston High School. He has a law enforcement degree from Missouri State University. Until he was hurt on the job, he worked as a police officer in his hometown for several years. Curiosity about solar energy is how Arthur got into the business. With only 3 employees, he hit the ground running and lobbied Missouri to adopt solar initiatives. Eventually, he became the president of the Missouri Solar Energy Industries Association. Today, Caleb Arthur has hundreds of employees. Sun Solar has offices throughout the state of Missouri, including Houston, Springfield, Columbia, Kansas City, and St. Louis. Sun Solar is also in South Carolina. Welcome, Caleb.
Hey, how are you?
Fine, good to have you with us. Sun Solar is a company that designs and installs solar panels. Can you help our listeners understand the process of converting homes and businesses to solar energy? How's that done?
Yeah, so it's became more simple over the years with using a lot of different technologies. So the first thing we do is we collect your last 12 months utility bills, if you have that many. Some people haven't lived in their homes that long. Mm-hmm. And we put that in a solar software proposal tool. And that will lay panels out on your roof of your home or your business. And that can tell us how much money you will save if you decide to go solar. So it's kind of the first step that people do to look at the incentives. So there's a big federal tax credit out there. Ameren, the utility company, pays out cash incentives to go solar. And we put all those in the proposal. And then if a customer wants to move forward, about 80% of the time, customers choose a financing option, as you can do a lease or a loan. And then 20% of the customers do cash because, it's a great investment. And then once they do that, there's just a couple simple steps where we will pull permits for the electrical and structural upgrades of the solar equipment. And we will submit a basic document to the utility company on your behalf with your signature. And everybody gives us approvals. Then we come out in 1 or 2 days. We install the solar equipment on your home or on the ground, and then you get a new meter put in by the utility company, and you start spinning your meter backwards and producing solar credits, and it's happy ever after.
There you go. Well, you've kind of answered my next question was, how long does it take to complete the installation? Sounds like a couple of days?
Yeah, it's just a couple of days. Ground mounts can take a little bit longer, and then, some commercial projects or, a military project we just finished up at a military base took us a month. So just depending on how many panels, but a typical home's a day or two.
I got you. Are the systems pretty much customized?
Yes. Each panel can, produce 340 to 350 watts per panel. Mm-hmm. And then we just figure out how many panels you need based on, one, availability of how much space you have to put them, and then how much your utility bill you're going to offset. So our typical homeowner needs between 30 and 40 solar panels on their home.
And you pretty much figure all that out for them. That's great.
Yep.
So I have a kind of a squirrely roof or something. Are there non-roof options?
Yes. I'd say 35% of our customers choose a ground mount where we put solar panels on the ground, and we can do them on a regular ground mount, or we can also do a canopy. A lot of times canopies are used over parking lots, but It's kind of a fancy steel-looking pergola. If you've seen like wood pergolas, you can build them out of metal to where you can barbecue underneath them and do activities underneath them. So that's becoming more popular now.
I gotcha. I have a couple of friends that have Teslas. Are there more panels needed if you have an electric vehicle in order to charge it?
Yeah, it can be. So if you haven't owned an electric vehicle yet and you're going to add one, you would just let us know during your consultation, and we can get you ready for that. We also are able to finance and install electric car charging stations in your home or on your business. And usually those are a pretty minimal cost to add in. So it's not a big deal to add in an electric car charger. But yes, if you drive an electric car a lot, it can increase your monthly utility bill by, $40 to $50. But hey, that's better than paying a couple $100 in gas prices every month. So.
You got that right. You mentioned the solar savings calculator on the ussunsolar.com website. Can you give me a generalized example of how much a homeowner could save on their energy bill if they convert to solar?
Yeah, the rule of thumb is whatever you're going to spend on your solar, you can kind of double that number for your entire savings. So let's say somebody's entire solar costs were going to be $30,000, which is about normal. And that's before any kind of incentives, right? So it's usually a lot less than that after all the tax credits and incentives. But let's say you're going to spend $30,000 on your initial solar system, you're going to save roughly $60,000 in utility bills. So your return is, that extra $30,000 that you would be saving versus paying that in your, utility bills for the 25 to 30 year lifespan of the system.
Gotcha. And typically, how long does it take to realize that cost savings? When do you break even?
If you're financing it, a lot of times you can be at a lower payment, if not really close, day one. So our typical lease or loan customer might start out with a, $10 to $15 a month bill lower than their existing utility bill. But it also has to do with site consideration. So sometimes people start out just a hair bit higher, but usually you're in less than a three-year break-even point, right, from what your loan or lease payment be versus your utility offset.
Sounds like a great deal. What are upfront costs? Or the stuff you have to do before you start the conversion process?
Yeah, so when we get people pre-approved on the financing side, your payments don't start until 60 days after your install. So people a lot of times will be able to eliminate most of their utility bill and not have any kind of loan payment. And then we have one program that's pretty unique where you don't start any solar payments for the first 12 months. So you literally get like 12 months of no or low utility bill and no solar payment. So that way you kind of have some savings built up right out of the gate.
There apparently are a lot of payment options. Is a lot of that information on the website?
Yes, yeah, a lot of information's on the website, and everybody can qualify for different programs. So, we can go down to like a 640 credit score. And so I think it's critical that solar is no longer looked at it just for mega rich people that are, just want to save the planet, right? 90% of our customers are doing it because they're going to save money. And so I think that's important that this is like a middle class to even getting into the lower poverty rates where we're really starting to come out with programs like the lease program because the tax credits are so lucrative. But if you're only making a household income of $40,000 a year, you can't claim the tax credit. So we started teaming up with local banks to where we can sell those credits to them and then give you a low monthly payment. And you don't have to worry about claiming the tax credit. So we've really been trying to drive home over the last 4 years, creating some of our own financing tools to really help those people that are most in need, right? Because it's usually people that aren't making over $100,000 a year that get hit hardest with these, $200 to $300 a month utility bills. And that's quite a bit of your income when you look at that. So.
You really have that covered. Hey, is it possible for a neighborhood association to organize a group of homeowners and create like a solar energy neighborhood? What would they have to do?
Yeah, a lot of times they just have to call us, and we do group buys. So we did it with neighborhood associations. We did it with church groups. Anywhere where we can talk to a large group of people that all decide that, a certain percentage of them want to go solar. And we mostly just give them, up to a 15% discount for everybody that signs up. And because, it costs a lot of money to, of course, advertise and create new customers, right? But if they're all coming at kind of one time, then we can pass those savings on directly to the customers.
That's very, very nice. Can you tell me about, you have warranties or service agreements? Does it need much servicing? And if that happens, how is that covered?
Yeah, so typically, our systems are going to our panels come with a 25-year warranty, and that's the panel, right? So it's got to produce power over that 25 years, or otherwise the panel gets replaced at no cost to you. And that's the bulk of the system cost. But what a lot of people don't realize is that depending on who installs your system, there could be risk there. And so what you need to look for is a solar company that offers a workmanship warranty. And we have we went from a 12-year workmanship warranty now to a 25-year workmanship warranty. So when people sign up with Sun Solar, we're putting our name on the line that their system is going to operate for no issues for that full 25 years, which is really rare. Usually only national publicly traded companies will offer workmanship warranties that long, because it is a big investment to make sure that you've installed the product right. But I would say that what I see most out in the industry is there's no licensing really in the state of Missouri and even parts of Illinois. And so anybody can sell and install you a system. But if it's not done right, you can have a lot of cost to fix a system, kind of like if you have a roof installed incorrectly. If anybody's ever experienced that, where you kind of hire the cheapest guy, but obviously they're not the cheapest by the time you get done fixing everything that's done wrong. And the other thing is that the workmanship warranty goes with the solar company. So if the solar company goes out of business, and you pick somebody else and then you call us, then, you have to pay to have your system service. So I think it's critical that people really do a deep dive into who they're doing business with when they choose to, invest this kind of money into their homes. And the warranties stay with the home. So if you sell your home, which is a big issue for a lot of people, is thinking they're going to sell their homes, the leases and loans can transfer to the new homeowner. And what new homeowner isn't going to love having, a very low utility bill? Right. And then all the warranties stay with the equipment and stay with the home. So there's really nothing that's lost if you decide to sell your home, which the average American's moving, every 4 to 5 years.
So the short answer is you stand behind your work.
Absolutely. Yep. We've been in business 9 years this May, and we're one of the longest running solar companies in the Midwest that does residential and commercial.
Caleb, what's the customer service phone number in case anyone wants to call right now?
Yeah, so we answer every call with a live person, which is also kind of unique this day and age, right? Instead of getting 1 for sales and 2 for customer service.
For sure.
Our phone number, we have a 1-800 number, but kind of our local number here out of Springfield, where our headquarters is at. You can call 417-413-1786. And then we also have a 1-800 number that's on our website, but I like giving out our local number. We also have a 636 phone number that's also on our website, but they all come into our Springfield, Missouri headquarters where about 70 of our employees work. So.
Got it. And of course, the website is ussunsolar.com.
We have a Facebook page with 40-some thousand followers. So if you want to also communicate to us on Messenger or talk to us on Facebook, we can do that as well.
Well, one last question. After the system is installed, is it ready to go? Is there a boot up period of time? What's the story on that?
Yeah, so once your system's installed, the utility company has up to 2 weeks to come install your new bi-directional meter that can read, energy both ways. And they'll either turn on your system or there's just a disconnect switch that we can either show our customers to turn on, or we'll come back out and turn it on. We're willing to give you the white glove experience, but some customers want to turn it on themselves, and then some utilities will turn them on and leave them on. You get 24/7 access to monitoring. And so you have an app on your phone, and it'll tell you when your system's working and how much you're producing and how much money you're saving. So it's a pretty unique system compared to what it was 9 years ago when I started. So
you can say that again. We'll be back in just a moment.
You are listening to The Open Source. Become a subscriber. Go to www.theopensource.club. Add your email to the podcast subscription window. Get new shows in your inbox.
Solar is the future of energy. It's an option for you to consider as you evaluate cost savings and look to embrace a green lifestyle. Sun Solar is a local company with roots in the state of Missouri. Visit their website and use their savings calculator, ussunsolar.com. The link is also on our website, theopensource.club. Caleb has explained Sun Solar's customization process, payment options, including their leasing program and their service and warranty options. Thank you, Caleb, for your time.
Yeah, no, thank you. I really appreciate it.
This has been another Sustainable Life episode, and I'm your host, Dick Ulett. Thank you for listening, St. Louis, from the team at theopensource.club.